Hey, welcome back to another edition of Avidgolfer Magazine's Drive Time feature. This month, we have one of my favorite cars that I've tested. I want to thank the people over at Park Place Motor Cars on Lemon Avenue in Dallas for the opportunity to test drive the 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLE 53 Coupe. Not only rhymes, it's one heck of a ride. It's got all the tech you want, all the power, all the luxury, and cargo space. It's pretty darn good. So let's give this a good long peek, the AMG GLE 53 Coupe. Alright, so the front end of the GLE 53 is cladded, you can see, very aggressive lines here, very aggressive grille. You have a diffuser down here, a little splitter, and gloss black. You can get this illuminated or not. I like this in iridium silver because it showcases and contrasts nicely with the black. I love that type of image. You see the work under here. This is all for cooling down a very prominent engine. And we'll show you that in a second. It's 429 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque, and it rides effortlessly. Get pretty decent gas mileage too. But again, like the front, the headlights are great too. And when you show the high beams, they kind of open up like a curtain. It's really quite amazing. It's a good pet trick. So there you go on the front end. Okay, as we open up the hood, see the engine here. It's got the AMG cover on it. Not much to say about it except it is powerful, it's quick, it's responsive, 429 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque. When it has the EQ system, where it actually uses like a hybrid battery, and it adds a 48 volt, adds 21 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque for short bursts. But you're not using a lot of gas on it, it's all electric. That's pretty cool as an added feature. One thing I like about the AMG line are the aggressive tires and rims. These are 21 inches. You can get up to 22, but I think they look great, especially with this silver. See, turbo 4MATIC. 4MATIC means it's all-wheel drive. That's the normal nomenclature for a Mercedes. And as you go towards here, these don't retract or anything. These are stable running boards. But what's cool about them, when you open up the door at night, these all light up. It's a nice effect, and I also get a nice splash of the Mercedes emblem on the ground as well. Here's the thing about the coupe when it comes into an SUV. A coupe doesn't mean two-door, it means more of a sloped back. What I like about this is how streamlined it is. You can see a panoramic roof on top, slopes down a little bit, and then you got a nice end with the spoiler in the back. It doesn't cut down on the headroom so much, and it doesn't really cut down on the storage so much. But there's a lot of German cars these days that have designs. They all have a coupe-ish SUV, and it doesn't quite look like an egg, but it looks a little more rakish, a little more racy. As you can see back here in the sport model, again, it's an AMG, so this is Mercedes-Benz Sport Division, and they make their cars sporty. So you got a nice subtle spoiler, matches the paint, looks pretty good. And you have a nice dark trim, which contrasts well against the silver. And then you have quad exhaust, which always looks nice and aggressive, and a rear diffuser. Again, more of a sporty look. I think it looks fantastic. Looks formidable, looks powerful, looks correct. You can see here there's a lot of room. You can fold that back. These are 60-40 rear split seats. Goes all the way down. 23 cubic feet of space with the rear seats up, and 63 cubic feet with the seats down. More than enough room to get big items in the back of your car. And you have the auto close here. AMG emblem and the GLE 53. I think the LED taillights look awesome as well. I think it's a well put together car and a visually appealing as well. All right, so the back seat of the AMG GLE 53 is plenty roomy. Got really good headspace up here, almost 6 feet tall. Even with the sloped roof line, definitely gives you enough space. Love this contrasting red seat belt. I think it denotes sporty. It's a little bit different, a little edgy. This is the upgraded Napa leather. It also has kind of a suede insert here as well. Very comfortable, very roomy. I get my feet underneath. I have a ton of knee space right here, and so that's good. Good door handles. Again, all the parts here, everything just feels luxurious. It feels the way a Mercedes should. These are the Burmeister upgraded stereo. Sounds terrific in surround sound, and you can tailor make it any way you want. Good job there. You also have air vents in the back. You have a little space for put whatever. Down here you have some USB-C ports. That's what they are now, USB-C, not the regular, otherwise you need an adapter. And that's pretty much it in the back seat. So again, it's about everything you want. The middle seat, yeah, this works too. There's no big hump to maneuver around. And I think you can get five people in here quite well. 4 is better, 5's not bad. I love the panoramic sunroof here because you can close with a sunshade, you can open it up. Again, with a dark interior, which I like as well as with light, this brings up a little more illumination so it doesn't look so dark and cave-like, and I think it's a great feature for a car of this size. All right, let's get to the interior of this fantastic ride, the AMG GLE 53. When you get in the upscale, actually all parts of the Mercedes are great. When you get to the upscale divisions, especially the AMG, it is super great. Let's start off with the materials. This is the upgraded Napa leather, and it also has contrasting double stitching. They're ventilated, they're heated. You can also access those on the doors right here. Here's where your seat adjustments are. Again, this is all Mercedes. I find this, once you get used to it, I find it incredibly convenient to get to rather than searching on the side of your seat. Really like that feature. You have 3 different memory settings, not only on the driver's side but on the passenger side. The brushed aluminum looks wonderful, especially against all the black trim, and it doesn't show off any glare from the sun. That's a great thing when you're driving. The steering wheel, it's their performance AMG steering wheel, squared off at the bottom like most racing motifs. I love this texture here. Feels really good, very grippy, but not so much. You have controls on here like you do on most steering wheels. The difference with Mercedes is you also have little track pads here. So if I'm looking at this awesome display, I can reprogram the settings. Like right now I have it on a clock on the left. So if I hit that, hit the clock, and now I can scroll through this. I can, from the start, how many miles I've gone, from the very start, 153, the route schedule, where it's going, that would be on your nav, radio station I'm using. This is the balance of the car, and I can go back to an old speedometer. Either way. You can also do it in the middle, you can do it on the right, and then you come up with this big 12.3-inch infotainment screen. This is the home screen. I can either scroll through it with this scratch pad, touch pad down here, or I can do it as a touch screen. Let's go into comfort here real quick, because this is really pretty cool. It has massaging seats. You have up to 7 different settings. My favorite's the wave, because it not only massages your back, it massages your rear too. So when you're sitting around for a long time, it gets kind of sweaty, I don't know. It'll give you a nice overall body massage. Again, you have 7 different settings on that. You can put it on the heat part, works out really well. Passenger also gets that. As far as these buttons, they're not superfluous at all. It's just enough, right? You can have your home menu. Here's your on and off on your vents, on how powerful you want that to be. Here's your auto temp, and you also have recirculation. You have air conditioning, and you have your sink, so both sides can be the same temperature. Again, this is just right here. That's just a kind of a holding area, a little pad for you when you're resting your hand. This is the part that you're looking at. This is the scratch pad that you can use, so you don't have to reach for this, although it's very reachable. So that's not a problem at all. And you have the different settings on here. I can either pull up my head-up display, or I can turn it off. I can do parking, I can do lane assistance, a million different things on here. And when you look at this head-up screen, it might be one of the best in the business. It's bright, it's clear, and it gives you as much information as you want. Right now I'm looking at the direction, the speedometer. It'll have a speed limit. It'll tell me the station I'm listening to, tell me my battery left on my cell phone, because there's a wireless charger down here, and my connectivity. So I love it, and I love the feature because it looks like it's floating out in front of your hood. But there's no reason you have to take your eyes off the road when you have a head-up display this nice. You have your on-off switch right here. You can turn on or off your auto stop. I think that's pretty cool. And you could raise or lower your thigh support through this. Go up, back, down, everything. It's got a bunch of different controls. It also has power tilt and retract. Makes it very nice. All these vents work superbly. Everything in this car just meshes well. Big, huge cup holders. You also have your dynamic. This is your mode setting. So if I move this, I have slippery, I have individual, there's trail, there's sand, comfort, sport, super sport, and as you put it in super sport or sport plus, you're going to hear the engine note raise up a little bit. You can also change that engine note with a little toggle switch right here. So if you're going through your neighborhood late at night, you don't want to wake everybody up, you just turn it off. When you feel a little feisty, hit it back on. I think it's a great feature. I wish a lot of cars had that option. When you close this, I think it's enough. Looks really good. It's in this like piano gloss black. Keep it open. Your cell phone's right there, and its wireless charger. You have more USB-C ports right here. I can change not only the exhaust note, I can change the suspension settings, and when we start driving, I'll be able to describe this a little bit better on the different changes and how perceptible that is. Your console down here has a good amount of room, and it's deep, and it has, again, more USB-C ports. I think there's 5 total. About all you want. Again, more nice leather. That Napa leather is just superb, and good size for your more cup holders down here. More stuff you can put your more knick-knack compartments for others. You have more than enough room to put all that stuff. Right here, you have your ambient lighting as far as your interior goes, and you can see how that comes on. It's almost like diamonds, like jewels. I really like that. Really cool. And this is how you open up your panoramic roof. Good amount of room, and then your sunroof will close automatically as well. And when you're done, just move it up, and so it gives you all the light you really need, especially in a dark interior like this. It's nice to have a little more illumination. As far as that goes, so everything you have here, again, I just love this display. It's so clear. It gives you really anything you want as far as information and so forth. You have your phone hookup, navigation, radio, media, whichever I'm listening to, comfort to the performance. You have your apps, and you have your total car settings on there, so it all looks really sharp, and it's instantaneous too. That's the other thing I like about it. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. If I go to the middle here, and I scroll down, see this boost right here? So one thing, that it has 429 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque. If I am traveling and I want to give it a quick boost, I won't do it while I'm stationary, but when I'm driving, this will move up and down. There's a 48 volt, it's almost like a hybrid electronic system on there that will boost your horsepower by 21 and your torque feet by 184. It's a lot. So, and it does it in short bursts like that. You'll also go in coast mode when you're driving. This is a V6, or actually a 6 inline. So when you're driving down the road and you want to conserve some gas, it'll know when you're just kind of maybe going down a gradual decline. It will coast. It will turn off the cylinders for a little bit. It'll turn it back on when you need the power again. Love that. And so there you go. That's the interior. A lot of stuff to look at. You really have to feel it yourself. As far as the parking goes, like this is a camera. And with a car like this, one thing that's happening with the modern car is it's tough to see around the perimeter of your vehicle. It's tough to see where the front ends. It's tough to see where the back ends. But with this camera display, I can look at the rear. Now this gives me a 360 right here. So when I'm driving, not only shows, see I have the doors open, it shows you how much room I have when I open up the doors, so I'm going to hit anything. And if I'm going into a tight space, I can align it with whatever I'm trying to get into rather than guessing. And I think that's a superb feature. And there you go. These are all meant to be safety conscious, to keep your car from doing something accidental, running into something. This gives you really every feature you need to keep this car in good running shape and with as few blemishes as possible. All right, we've talked to you about the exterior. We've shown you the interior, showed you the trunk. See how this thing rides. What I like about this, has a gear shift on here. It's like on a stock, almost like a lane changer. It's just another thing you get used to with a Mercedes, but once that occurs, I love it because it saves so much more room on the console. So right now I have it in Sport Plus. You can hear that? Woo. It's got a lot of bite to it, but it's not jarring. Suspension doesn't bounce you around and make you feel like you need to wear a kidney belt. The exhaust opens up in Sport Plus. Gives you that nice kind of reverb that I love in sports cars, because sports cars are emotional. Even though this is an SUV and it's a crossover and all that, when you hear that engine note, it just sounds the way it should. Little pop, little backfire, little barking. Nothing wrong with that. Again, still having Sport Plus. These are not the best roads around here in Irving. If I move the dynamic mode to comfort, the engine note gets milder until I hit the little toggle switch. Sometimes I want to drive nice and smooth and sedate, but I want to hear that engine exhaust. And Mercedes gives you that option. It's not an either or. Do it really whenever the feeling strikes. The steering wheel feels terrific.
How can I help?
Oh, that's Mercedes.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again, please?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm sorry, but I can't help you with that right now.
Okay, goodbye. Mercedes is very responsive in talking to Mercedes, and you can pull up a whole myriad of options without ever having to touch a button. Very intuitive, very clear, and the visibility in this for a sloped roof like this, thumbs up. Ample side mirrors. Again, when you're parking, you have the 360 surround top view, so you know how close you're getting to hitting something, maybe another car or a parking sanction or whatever. The other thing about this GLE AMG 53 or AMG GLE 53, it will raise or lower the suspension about 2 inches, depending if you're going fast or if you're going over the different modes, you know, the sand, the slippery, trail, whatever. It will adjust to that. Very intuitive car. There's a lot of tech in here. There's a lot of performance in here. There's a lot of luxury in here. And starting at $76,000, pretty well appointed at $90,000. It's right in the sweet spot for premium German imports as far as this SUV goes, with the sloped roof and the Coupe name and all the designation. I can drive this car for a long time with the massaging seats, and the seats just feel great to me. Everything works. Everything is at peace with me, is at one with me. Good job, AMG. Did a fine job. And as we'll turn around here, the turning radius on this is exquisite and very, very short, which is another thing that works really well. You'll see. Only had to go over one lane. That is excellent for a large crossover like this. Again, you can hear that engine note. Wheels very planted. It's all-wheel drive, the 4MATIC designation in the Mercedes line. Well, there's not much you'd want extra on this car, really. If you're looking for a sporty SUV with some pretty good cargo area, great creature comforts, good performance, a little bit of visceral exhaust note, this is right up your alley. I'd definitely test drive it and check it out. Again, the guys over at Park Place Motor Cars did a solid for me to have the opportunity to check this out. Brakes, solid. There's no fade. There's no bite. It just is confident. That'll put a grin on my face every single time. Oh, I love that. So intoxicating. Sunroof, with a lot of illumination. Again, for a dark car, just enough light so you're not in a cave. The head-up display is exquisite. This is just about the perfect car. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good job, Mercedes. You don't feel like a beaten down parent driving a soccer mom car. This is right up your alley. You put that boost on there from the 48 volt. Again, doesn't do it through the gas, does it through electronics and through the battery. And seamless. 21 extra horsepower, 184 extra pound-feet of torque. Bueno. And there you have it. I think you'll agree. The 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLE 53 Coupe is worth your interest and attention. If you're looking for a big crossover, it's got power, it's got luxury, it's got tech, it's got exhilaration exhaust, it's got everything you want. It bases at $76,000, nicely pointed at around $90,000. And I want to thank the folks again at Park Place Motor Cars on Lemon Avenue in Dallas for the opportunity to showcase this ride. So check it out in the latest edition of Avidgolfer magazines. Don't forget the YouTube page, Drive Time feature. Till next time, happy driving.